It is said that there are hundreds of ghosts in Thailand. Among them, pregnant women who died in vain will turn into extremely fierce ghosts. Today, I will take you to immerse yourself in the movie, The Undertaker. The story begins when the village chief was strolling on the street in the middle of the night. He was surprised to find that there was a beautiful woman behind him. The village chief hurriedly looked back. However, there was nothing around. He quickly took off the rearview mirror and called the wizard quickly. The wizard thought the village chief was crazy and hung up the phone directly. But this time, the ghost appeared again, seeing that she had no intention of leaving. The village chief decisively abandoned the car and fled. A week ago, this woman committed suicide for no reason, and she was pregnant at that time. It is said that this way of death with two lives will cause great resentment. Some even turn into evil spirits and linger around people. At first, everyone thought it was just feudal superstition, but who knew that something strange really happened at the funeral of this woman? According to local customs, her family had to find a suitable cemetery for her by throwing eggs. And the place where the eggs broke is where Dao Yi wanted to rest in peace. But strangely, after many attempts, the eggs did not break. Her boyfriend Jack saw this. He offered to let him throw eggs. Normally, Jack did not have the right to throw eggs. In order to get her buried as soon as possible, the Undertaker decided to let him try. To everyone's surprise, Jack actually hit it once.
Afterwards, Jack thought more and more that something was wrong. He vaguely felt that she had something to say to him. That's why he arranged all this, in order to resolve the doubts in his heart. Jack found his grandmother.
He wanted to find out how to see ghosts from her. Grandma told Jack, just put on the clothes of the dead, then smear the black dog blood on your eyes. Then you can see their ghosts. After Jack did it once, he closed his eyes and waited for her to come. But what Jack finally waited for was the father of the dead. The other party kept staring at him as if he was a pervert. Feeling extremely embarrassed, Jack immediately turned around and ran away. However, fate is very strange. People who want to see Inaba can't see him. People who don't want to see can't avoid him. When 3 villagers were catching frogs in the wild, they just ran into Inaba head-on, and Xiaoda, the only college student in the village. He also accidentally met Daoi. At this time, Xiaopeng, who was having a party on the street on the other side, turned his head and found a big surprise. Seeing this, Xiaopeng quickly changed his seat. However, Daoi refused to give up. Entangled in desperation, Xiaopeng had to move again. The next day, Jord was asked by his father to accompany him to the funeral, but he was very reluctant in his heart. Jord only wanted to develop in the big city. He looked down on the job of the Undertaker. He did not want to follow in his father's footsteps. At this funeral, Jord realized the importance of the Undertaker. Although the Undertaker belongs to the funeral industry, but in their own way, they gave great blessings to the deceased. Therefore, this profession is an extremely great existence in the eyes of others. At this moment, Jord finally understood his father's persistence. He found that his father, who had worked hard for many years, was no longer in good health. So Jord took over the job. Then, he found the village chief. He wanted him to help post recruitment information in the village. After all, he was currently inexperienced. He needed help. Coincidentally, Jack had been looking for a way to see ghosts. So the two hit it off, formed a funeral team. Jord's father taught the two a lot of funeral experience, but Jack didn't care about it all. He just wanted to see his dead girlfriend as soon as possible. After Jack's repeated requests, Jord's father proposed a better way. That is the soul leaving the body. Jack heard it. He couldn't help laughing, because he thought the soul leaving the body only appeared in movies and TV dramas. Jord's father wanted to prove that he was telling the truth. He took Jack to the secret base. I saw his father smashing the stone slab. Then he took out a secret book that he had treasured for many years, and it recorded the whole process of the soul leaving the body before the ceremony officially began. Jack told his friend that when he saw the incense was about to burn out, he must wake himself up. After that, he held the leaf in his mouth and closed his eyes. Then something magical happened, as all kinds of memories poured into his brain. Jack actually came to another world. This is a desolate Gobi desert. There is not even a ghost around. Jack called his girlfriend's name while walking towards the sea, but at this moment, he fainted due to suffocation. When Jack woke up again, he was surrounded by strange people in white clothes, and all the chairs were suspended in the air. Before Jack came to his senses, he heard his girlfriend shouting beside him. Jack followed the sound and walked into the dense woods. There were ghost lights everywhere, and there was a woman standing in the most conspicuous position. Jack recognized her at a glance. This was his girlfriend, whom he missed very much. Just when he was about to say hello, he was awakened by a slap in the face by his friend. It turned out that the incense was almost burned out, so his friend had to wake him up, even if he couldn't talk to his girlfriend. Jack was also very excited, because it was proved the soul out of body really works. In order to see his girlfriend again, Jack started to use the soul out of body again without stopping. This time, Jack finally talked to his girlfriend as he wished, and told her how much he missed her. However, after a while, Jack found that he could no longer smell the scent of burning incense. Realizing that the incense was almost burned out, he could only leave temporarily reluctantly. After waking up, Jack cried on the spot with joy. The next day, a woman hurriedly found Jord's father. He begged his father for help, sent her husband on his last journey. Facing this hard-won opportunity to practice, Jack and the others were full of expectations. But what they didn't expect was that the person who needed service was actually a black guy. Jack knew it in his heart. Western customs are very different from Southeast Asia. If you're not careful, you will cause trouble. So he specially called the magician over. I thought that with the blessing of the wizard, the funeral ceremony would be completed quickly. Unexpectedly, the wizard didn't understand the tricks. In desperation, Jack had to find garlic and a cross to seek some psychological comfort. Then, several people searched the internet for Western funeral ceremonies and learned that they needed the blessing of a priest. Chowda immediately found a priest. After the priest took over the work, Jack and his friends returned home. But what they didn't know was that Inaba had already set his sights on the wizard. Seeing a gust of cold wind coming inexplicably, the wizard quickly closed the window. Who would have thought that the window would open again in the next second? The frightened wizard immediately ran away. But there were far more victims than him. The bearded man found through the vending machine that Inaba's ghost was standing behind him. More and more people were frightened by Inaba's ghost. The village chief immediately found Chowda and asked him to speed up the funeral ceremony for Inaba. It turned out that since Inaba died, her body had not been buried. The fundamental reason was that Jack did not want Inaba to disappear. But Daoi's existence had seriously affected the villagers. For everyone's safety, Chowda had to send Inaba away. But just when he was holding a funeral for her, his father passed away unexpectedly. After Chowda learned the news, he immediately rushed to the scene. He imitated his father to send the other party off for the last time. When Xiao Duo was about to complete the last ceremony, Jack came and made a fuss. It turned out that in recent days, Jack had been using the soul-out method to see Inaba, but the incense sticks he used were limited. With the death of Chowda's father, the time for renewing the incense was shortened a lot. Jack, who was unwilling to accept the reality, almost fell into madness. He kept begging Jode to tell him the new method, but unfortunately, Jode knew nothing about it. Seeing Jack's extremely haggard appearance, Grandma felt very distressed. He tied the rope from the prayer to Jack's arm. Hopefully he would cheer up again. After Jack woke up, he finally understood that humans and ghosts are different. Even if he did more, it was powerless to save the dead. It's better to let the deceased rest in peace. Cherish the people around you more.